All right, these are your introductory notes to ecology. You can title them Ecology or Ecology Intro. Make sure that you also put them in your table of contents so that it's easy for me to find during notebook checks. First thing we're going to do is start off by defining ecology. I wrote this to look like a title, but it is also just going to start our notes, so if you want to redefine ecology right below the title, that's fine. It is the scientific study of organisms and their interactions with either other organisms or the environment or both. So it's the study of organisms and their interactions with other organisms or the environment. You can pause these notes at any time. I'm going to go much faster, especially since initially it's just definitions. Next up, we're going to just define the biosphere. The biosphere is Earth, including the land, the sea, and the air. The land is called the geosphere. The sea, and that includes lakes and rivers and streams and things. Sea is just a misnomer there, is the hydrosphere. And the air is the atmosphere. All of those make up the biosphere. All right, first thing we're going to talk about is an individual. It is a single member of a species. And what you ought to know is that these notes are going to be a hierarchy. So we're going to start with individual and then go to the next highest level, then the next highest level, and you'll see the scope get bigger and bigger as we add more and more things into our hierarchy. So an individual is the first part of our hierarchy. It's the smallest member of an ecological system that we'll talk about. And next, I'm going to define species. This will not be a part of the hierarchy notes, so if you want to put this definition a little somewhere else, that's fine. You do not need to draw the picture of the elk, then the family of elk, then so on and so forth. So an individual, a single member of a species. And we define a species as a group of organisms so similar that they can breed and produce fertile offspring. So that's a species. And you can pause here to get that definition. Next, we have a population. A population is a group of organisms that are the same species. So we have a single individual or we have a population. Population must be the same species. So you could talk about a human population, you could talk about a dog population, you could talk about an elk population. They must be the same species. Next up, we have a community. A community is a group of different populations that live in the same defined area. So here now we have a moose, we still have this family of elk, we've got a lynx, we've got an owl, we've got a beaver, American beaver, second largest rodent in the world. Thought you might want to know that. Also remember that owls, not actually owls, they are in fact night chickens. So a community is a group of different populations that live in the same defined area. We go one step bigger. Now we start to include non-living things. An ecosystem is reflective of all organisms in a defined area, the community, all organisms in a defined area, as well as the non-living physical environment. So then we get into streams and rocks and all of those things that make up a defined area, topographical things that are non-living. And so we're going to pause the hierarchy right now and we're going to define two more things, just two simple terms. This is not a part of the hierarchy, but something that we should talk about. Biotic means living. Abiotic means non-living. A typically denotes non or the anti of whatever comes after it. This little prefix A. So asymptomatic means you're not showing any symptoms. Asymmetrical means you do not have a symmetry. So biotic is living, abiotic, non-living. And last is a biome. A biome is a group of ecosystems with similar climates and dominant species. So you might have a rainforest biome in the Amazon and also in Southeast Asia. Both of those are ecosystems that have similar climate and similar dominant species, and so they are a rainforest biome. Those are the notes. Come in if you have any questions. Thanks very much.